Hey guys, this is Ambasa here from Alok Institute. Today we will see how to prepare a virtual machine in the given cloud platform. In our example, OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Let's see first of all with the theory part, and then we will see same thing with the practical. Before proceeding this theory along with practical, request you guys to go ahead and subscribe our channel to get more and more videos. Let's begin with the theory part. So once you entered the website cloud.oracle.com, this is a website where you can use it for login to the cloud, which is a OCI cloud. And once you connect it to this website with the given credentials, so you will be landed to this page. What we call for this, you have to tell, it is called the console. So this page is we have to call it as a console. Before proceeding this preparation of our today's topic, virtual machine, we have to understand certain the prerequisites to make sure that in real time also you can do it the same thing, whatever the prerequisites has been mentioned in today's session. Start with noting down in the right top corner, that is we call region. So make sure that you have selected proper region. Don't jump into start preparing the machine. We call it as a resource. So first of all, make sure that you should have a properly selected the region. Then only once you noted that okay, I have selected proper in this example, let's now begin to the next point. So what I'll do, I'll just try to go for here. This is we called navigation menu. What you have to tell, this is the term called navigation menu. So once you go to this navigation menu here, you have to make sure that you have to click on this. After clicking on the navigation menu, you can see here, you will see this list of services. In our example, we wanted to go for the compute options. So compute is a service name. Inside that service name, I'll be going for the word called instances. The instance is our resource inside my service. So what we have done right now, as of now, we just entered into this region, and then after connecting to this region, we have gone through the navigation menu and followed by the compute service. Inside that we have selected the instances as a resource. Now before start preparing this instance here, you should make sure that you have to select the proper compartment. The question is expected, what do you mean by compartment? It is a logical group of resources held in this structure we call as a compartment. It's a logical layer which consists of a group of resources. Just like you are preparing one logical layer, and inside that you will be keeping the resources. In our example, what we are preparing? We are preparing the instances option. So here instance is my resource and compartment is my logical entity. So this compartment you have to select it proper. Let's go ahead and select it. In our case, I'll be going ahead and just mention this. Here you go. That's it. So let's now select the proper compartment. In this case, you already can able to see here, I have already prepared a set of machines, or they are already stopped. Let's now begin with creation of a new instance. Let's say example here, if I want to prepare the instance, in this case, what we said here, it is my instance preparation. So its other word, it is we called a virtual machine preparation. Short form is called VM, and we call it as a bare metal, and in other words, it is called a physical machine. So in our case, the instance is nothing but either it is a virtual machine, or you have to tell it is a bare metal, or we call it as a physical machines. So one of them we wanted to go ahead and prepare it. In our today's session, we will be going for creating the virtual machines. So for that, I will go ahead and click on the create instance. Let's do it. Here we go. Once you clicked on the create instance, it may ask you to go ahead and provide certain informations. So now what I said here, I have already collected this all information. Let's go ahead and explain it one by one. Here you go. What I said, I had gone to the navigation menu, and inside that I have gone to the compute as a service. Inside that I have selected the instances as a resource. Once you selected that, I'll be now going to the create instance, making sure that you have selected the proper compartment, and then I'll be now start giving the rest of the question with the proper filling of the form. Now here this page will first ask what is the name of this machine you wanted to have it. It is other word, it is called the host name or the machine name. So why we are preparing this machine? First of all, you need to understand here we can run the applications or we can start our things what you wanted to have it here. So maybe you can create a database, you can create your applications, you can store your anything inside this particular the instance. So make sure that once you given the machine name, you will be again asking you will be storing this resource in this compartment. Are you okay with that? If not, then go ahead and again in the drop down you can change your compartment. So again this is my list of the compartment. Inside that this is again the child compartment. The below is my parent compartment, and the one which I selected is my actual compartment as a child where I will be storing my this particular resource. So we are good to proceed with here. So I am good to proceed with here in this case, and asking for the placement of the word, which availability domain you wanted to store it. Here what you need to remember, so we have selected this region. Inside this region I wanted to have in this particular one of the availability domain. So you cannot select all, rather you have to select any one of them. So in my example I have selected AD1. So availability domain is like your data center. So you are trying to keep this particular virtual machine inside this region and inside this availability domain. So what I said, you will be keeping inside this region plus inside this availability domain. Once you selected this the availability domain, which we call it as the placement, let's go ahead and select the image as well as shape. So here the question expected, what is the image stands with? Image is other word, it is an operating system. What you have to tell, the image is other word, it is a operating system. And what do you mean by shape? Shape is other word, it's a kind of a hardware selections. In this hardware, the CPU count, the memory size, and the network bandwidth or the speed. So these three combination selection is other word is called the shape. So that's what we will be again checking and making sure that we will be selecting the right thing. In our example, we'll go ahead and see here. Next case, what I said, I just mentioned that here you click on the change image. So once you click on the change image, it will ask you what is my operating system you want to have it. So what I said here, I can even go ahead and change my shape, but I just currently in this case example, I'll be going for changing my operating system. Is other word the image. So make sure that you selected right operating system, whatever you are interested. In this example, I'll be selecting the Windows. Followed by you have to check box this, so we are okay with that, and say select the image. Let's do it the same thing here. Here you go. So you can give the machine name anything. Here I will be just providing whatever the name of the machine which I have just explained here. In this case, Ambassa machine 04. So you can go ahead and give it according to whatever you are interested. Let's do it. Here you go. So next I'll be selecting the availability domain with a proper compartment and scroll down, and here you will see this is the image. I'll say click on change image, followed by Windows, and here once you selected the Windows, again it may take a few seconds to give you a list of images available. Scroll down, and there you will see list of further Windows the image different types. So out of that I'll be now selecting this one. So here I already mentioned the screenshot, so you can also follow the same. So you have to select the change the image, and followed by you select one of this. Example, I have selected this one, and after this selection, what I said here, you have to select this related the confirmation and say here select image. So now I have selected this image. Good to proceed with this particular shape, which is having 1 CPU, 12 GB RAM and 1 GB network speed. So that's fine. I'll scroll down, and here it is expecting me to fill up the network card. So what I'll do, I'll just go ahead and as per the screenshot, you can see here, once it is refer this. So I'll go ahead and now select my one of the VCN. So VCN stands for a virtual cloud network. So what I'll be doing it here in this case, here you go. So inside my primary network, so I already prepared my VCN. The VCN stands for virtual cloud network. So in this virtual cloud network, so it will give us the private IP plus the public IP. So based on what subnet you are selecting it. So you have to make sure that you have to select the proper VCN. Based on that VCN, it will say that okay, I will take the respective question may be asked, what is my subnet I want to use it. So I'll be now requesting for public subnet. The reason behind to select the public subnet is to get the public IP, so that I can connect from my laptop machines to this particular the virtual machine, which is now preparing in my cloud. So hence what I need to do, I need to make sure that I need to prepare the VCN, along with that the public subnet. So here in our example it is already there. So I will be selecting the existing VCN plus existing the public subnet. So once you selected that, he will say that okay, it will give you a private IP plus it will also say that I will give you the public IP. So we are okay with both, and then we can proceed further. Let's see continuation with this. Here you go, this one. So what I said, so once you continued, and it will ask you certain question, maybe the boot volume and block volume. The boot volume is one of the place where we can store the operating system. The block volume is the hard disk where we can store other than the operating system. Currently what we said, so keep the boot volume, which is already we have selected the image. That image has a boot volume, that's okay for us. And additional hard disk we called as a block volume, we don't want it. So that's the reason we will not attach any additional stuff. We'll go ahead and click the create button. So which will go ahead and prepare our the virtual machines. Now it is started preparing, is the other word is called provision. What we have to tell, it's called provisioning, nothing but it is started preparation. So it is not still completed. Once the creation is completed, it will start the machine. In that case it is called running. So provisioning state converted to a running state. An example here. So what it happens, it will go for a running state. Let's do it here. So as I mentioned, I will be selecting the one of the existing VCN. So maybe it is giving me list of the VCN, and in our example I will take one of this, scroll down, and I'll take here. There are a lot of VCN which is prepared based on who prepared it. In my lot of students has prepared this all VCN. In my case I am just selecting the one which I am prepared it. Now here I have selected my VCN, and it is now asking for which subnet to select. I'll go ahead and take this public subnet. The reason, as I mentioned, I need to get public IP also, so that I can connect from my local machines to this cloud machine. So local machine is, in my case, it's like a laptop. So after this is selected, it will clearly mention that he will give the private IP plus public IP. So we are okay with that. Next, scroll down. As I mentioned, so we don't change any boot volume sections. So you can see the block volume, we are not again adding any additional hard disk. That is also fine for us. And then we can go ahead and create this. Now it is started preparing. So once it is started preparing, it is called provisioning. You have to wait for a while. What it does, it you can see here in this case. Here it will be keep loading. As of now it is not completed. So you have to wait for a while. Let it prepare it. So it is in the right now provisioning state. Let's wait for a while, and now what it says that once it is ready, it is clearly mentioning here in this case is what is my public IP plus what is my OS username, which initially it is automatically created during the creation of this machine. So I need to take the initial password which I can use it for login. So this is again one more the question. If right now in our example we have selected the operating system is Windows, that is called image is Windows, so it will give you initial password, and later that password we can use it to prepare the, you can say, to log in and further to you can say go ahead and you can say change the password. It will force you to change the password, and that password we can use it for further login. So what I said here, it is again waiting for that to give, wait for a while. So it gives a certain time to give us the initial password. Meanwhile, what I'll say here, I'll go ahead and explain the theory part. Consider this is what it is will be shown to you in the provisioning state to convert it to running state. In this screenshot, I have taken, this is my public IP and this is my the OS login username and its initial password. So this password is displayed it, but this password first time once you log in using this password, you can supposed to go with the changing this password. Let's say consider that you have done this as well, and here it is mentioned that this is my operating system what we have selected, and what I need to open now to connect to this Windows machine. I'll go to my run block. Inside the run block I have to type the keyword called mstsc, which will open the remote desktop connections. So in this example we are going to the run block and then mstsc, then say OK. It will get to open this particular page. You have to type the public IP, hence you have to take it from here in this page, the instance information in the instance access section. We have a IP address here. So this IP address you have to copy it, you have to paste it here, or you have to use the username here and then give that username and followed by say connect. Once you click on the connect, next would be here. What it will do it will maybe it gives the error because of something in the security list. I haven't allowed this rule so that the people can connect from outside the cloud. So if that is blocked, then you need to make sure that you need to add a rule in such a way that the outside people can connect to the cloud machine. So this is an example where you may expect this may unable to connect. So that's okay. That's one thing which we can do a troubleshoot. So what we can do, we can go to this particular link where they given you how do you go ahead and connect to your Windows machines. It's clearly mentioned that connecting to a Windows instance, they call it as instance. The instance can be a virtual machine or the instance can be your physical machine. Sometimes we call it the bare metal. So they given the instructions here. Before begin with this, take all the details, like you go to navigation menu. It's mentioned here also as well. What it says, you go to the navigation menu. From there you go to this compute as an services. From there you go to select the instances as your you can say resource. From there you go to the instance access information, and from there you can collect the public IP. Followed by you take your username, but certain it says that this is my username, and followed by you need to take the initial password. Clearly mentioned that if enable the RDP access, if you don't do this is RDP standing for remote desktop protocol. So in that case they clearly mentioned from any machines wants to allow to connect, you should make sure that the destination port should be open. So this is my port number called 3389. This has to be open it, so that you can enable to access from the RDP to your cloud machines. If this is not enabled in your security list, as a rule you have to add it. If it is not added, it will not allow to connect. Hence that's clearly mentioned in this document. That's fine. We will again go ahead and check. If it is not there, we will add it, and then followed by next step. Here we go. Example, let's say this is in running state. So how do I go ahead and enable that? So first you have to go to this particular instance sections. In that, first check what is your Ethernet card you are using it, which is we called as a VCN, virtual cloud network, which is my network I am using it. Just select that. Plus you should also make sure that here this is not enabled. You can see network security group, it is not yet enabled. So we have a two choice. One is you can add a security list at the subnet level, or maybe your VCN level. I am now explaining at the VCN level. So network security group is the one where we need to prepare it, making sure that we add a rule in that network security group, and that network security group we will give it to this VCN and then or this particular virtual machine, so that this virtual machine can now able to go ahead and take the request, which is destination port 3389. That's fine. We'll go ahead and now check that. Here we go. This is what I just mentioned. You have to click on that VCN. Inside the VCN there is a resources sections. So VCN is a main the resource. Inside the main resource we have a sub resources called the network security group. So initially the 0 means it is not yet prepared, or no network security group has been prepared. In my maybe demonstration case I do have many, but you have to go ahead and refer that. So here once you click on this network security group, it may ask you go ahead and prepare it. So in this creation time, create network security group, it will ask you the name and provide the rule. So what I'll do, I'll just go ahead and give the name. So the name will be there in the above, you can see the page, and it will ask you add the security rules. It is very simple. You have to go ahead and create the name of the security group, just to fill up that, and followed by the rule has to be added. So in the rule, while adding, it may ask you provide the what we call who can able to connect. In our case, this is we called, this is like a 0.0.0.0/0 is nothing but anyone can connect to this particular cloud machines. So this is what we are saying, that who can connect is other word, it's a source, and CIDS stand for classless inter-domain routing. So this is what I am selecting here, followed by destination port I need to protocol I need to take. Let's say example, the source the RDP would be the protocol which we are using through MSTSC, and that support would be 3389. So that's fine, we are okay. That's a destination port, we have to open it. So 3389 is my destination port where people can connect from this local machines to your RDP with this particular port, and followed by, now here once it is added, it will looks like this. Maybe say that you have given that all information and click on add a rule, so you will get this page. So now this page is ready. What we have prepared, we prepared this security group name called NSG1 network security group. This is the name what we prepared it. Now this network security group we have to attach to my virtual machine, so that this rule is now applicable to that particular virtual machine. So for that reason, what I'll do, I'll go ahead and go to again to reach to that particular virtual machine. I'll go to the navigation menu, click on compute and click on the instances. Once you selected these instances, what I'll do now, I'll go ahead and refer the, this is my machine name, I'll click on there. So this machine gets selected, and then you will see that here network security group is none, not yet attached. Click on edit, then you will go ahead and select that. So now here you have to, in the drop down, whatever the network security group you have prepared it, you have to select that network security group and give that value whatever you prepared it, and just save it. Once you saved, we are good to proceed with now the connections part. So now this is ready. You can also see that the network security group is now visible and it is now ready to accept your connections. So what I am doing it, I am just trying to say that go ahead and retry the same, the initial the connectivity part. So I'll go to run block, I'll go to MSTSC and say okay. If this is already opened, then you can just copy the again the public IP, the OS username, OPC, Oracle Public Cloud. So hence the short form is given OPC, and then initial password. So I'll copy that initial password just in the notepad, but it will not be allowed to copy paste it. You have to type it and say once you are ready to connect, say yes, please proceed, and you give the noted password. This is my noted password. You have to type it here, and then in the next page, I did not collect it, but it will forcefully to tell you go ahead and change the password. So once you give the new password, 2 times it will ask for the confirmation point of view. So that means you have given the 2 informations or 2 times the new password. It says that the user password must be changed, and we are, let's say example here, this is a password supposed to change it, and I given the 2 value. It says that your password has been changed. So for the first login time, it will tell that you given this information. This is my OS username, and this is what the copied or the valued what I have selected. Example here, you have to type this and say click next. It will say that okay, you must change the password, and say okay. The next page would be give the new password that is not collected, and says that okay, you are good to proceed. Your password has been changed. Now you are entering into the machine. The same way, let's do it in our case. So the same thing we will do it again in our case. This is a screenshots. Let's do it here. So what we have done as of now, we prepared this virtual machine. So in our today's example, this is my IP. What I'll do, I'll just go to copy this IP. You can say here, this is my initial password. So in the screenshot, maybe you can see this is my initial password. Let's say here. So here IP is 158, 101, 119, and you can say 236. But whereas here in our today's practical part, this is not the case, where it's a different one. That's fine. So that means today we can see this is a different altogether. 129.153.29.30 is my public IP. The OS username is OPC, and the initial password. So for this, I'll do one thing. I'll just go to run block. I'll type mstsc and say okay. This gets opened, and it will ask you provide this IP. I'll say here, copy this. I'll try to go for here, and in this case, here I'll just change it. Once I copy paste this IP, I'll go for here show options, and there it will ask you the username. I'll pass my username as OPC. Whatever the value username is given here, in my case it is given as a OPC. I'll just pass that. Once I give this username, I'll say here connect. So if it is not allowed to connect, that means as I mentioned, you have to go ahead and prepare the network security group. Say here, say yes, we are good to go, and it will ask you initial password. You have to type it. Let's go ahead and type that. Here you go. This is my username, and here you have to type the password. So now I'll just typing that same. That's it. Let's go ahead and now double verify. It is the same value what it has been given, and once you given the same value, say next. It says that username must be and maybe the password is you have to properly type it, otherwise you will get this message. That's okay. Let me just double check. UJ 8Q J Y and X small c 2Y and capital B. That's fine. Let's go ahead and try. So here it says that your user password must be changed before signing in. I'll say okay here and provide the new password. So whatever the new password you have to you wanted to have this machine to use it for further login, you give that new user password and a confirmation password one more time, the same password what you are using it here, the same password you have to provide it, and then say sign. And this is how it is very simple to prepare your virtual machine in a given cloud platform. In our example, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. That's it for today's session. Thank you for watching this video. Take care and bye bye.